Good morning, dear students. Anam, Arya, Rishu, Nidhi, Mahek, Sravani, Shimant, Swati, Bhagyasri. Good morning to each one of you, dear students. Good morning, Ria, Tanvi, Kushi, Aditya, Pratik, Mayur, Aditi, Sneha. Good morning to all of you. Uh, Kindly text me once if you are able to hear me. If I am audible uh, clearly, please text me yes. Text me yes so that I can begin my lesson today. Good morning, Sanket, Alma, Vinit. Good morning, all of you. Please text me yes if you are able to hear me. Tanvi, thank you so much. Kalani, good morning. Okay, so let's begin our lesson today. Okay, so dear students, as you can see that the Tiger King had to pay a heavy price for not allowing a British officer from fulfilling his desire of hunting tiger in his territory. Okay, so for that he had to send ornaments to the wife of British officer, uh, which cost him a lot of money, right? 3-4 lakhs in those days, was a huge sum. So the Maharaja uh, had to pay a huge heavy price for preventing a British officer from taking a peek of himself with the dead tiger, right? So let's continue from there. Okay, you see, when he presented ornament worth 3 lakh of rupees to the wife of the British officer, the British his kingdom, his kingdom was retained. Otherwise, if the British officer had become angry, in that case, his kingdom would have gone to somebody else. So, in this fear, out of this fear, Maharaja had to pay a heavy price for not allowing the British officer to you know, posing a photograph of himself with the dead tiger. Anyway, now let's move on to the section 4. The Maharaja's tiger hunts continued to be highly successful. Within 10 years, he was able to kill sub 20 tigers. So, dear students, as you can see here, Maharaja's only and only objective was to complete his mission of shooting down 100 tigers, because the astrologer predicted that his death would come from the tiger. That is why the Maharaja's only objective was to kill 100 tigers and get away with the fear of being killed by a tiger, right? So that is why he has kept all his affairs on hold, and his only objective and attention was on tiger hunt, right? So he was very much determined to go for the tiger hunt, as there was an underlying fear in his mind, right? There was an underlying fear in his mind regarding his death by a tiger, right? That is why he prayed about killing 100 tigers, right? And then an unforeseen hurdle brought his mission to a standstill. So, what is that unforeseen hurdle? We have to learn, dear students. Unforeseen hurdle brought his mission to a standstill. The tiger population became extinct in the forest of Prativantapuram. So, what was the unforeseen hurdle? The tiger population became extinct, okay, in the forest of Prativantapuram. The forest of Prativantapuram, the tiger population became extinct, completely extinct. Who knows whether the tigers practiced birth control or committed harakiri, or simply ran away from the state because they desired to be shot by British hands alone. Who knows whether the tigers practiced birth control or committed harakiri, or simply ran away from the state because they desired to be shot by British hands alone. So this is the humor part by the writer, yeah, right? Uh, Humor part on the part of the writer. One day, the Maharaja sent for the Diwan. Okay, Maharaja called his Diwan. Diwan Sahib, aren't you aware of the fact that 35 tigers still remain to be shot down by this gun of mine? It means Maharaja had already shot 70 tigers and still 30 are left. And his kingdom had fallen short of tigers now. So, what is he supposed to do right now? Let's find out. One day, Maharaja summoned his Diwan and told him, Diwan Sahib, aren't you aware of the fact that 30 tigers still remain to be shot down by the gun of mine? He asked, brandishing his gun. Right. So he was asking this question to the Diwan Sahib by brandishing his gun. Shuddering at the sight of the gun, the Diwan cried out. The Diwan became very much scared uh, when, when Maharaja was brandishing his gun. So out of fear, he said, "Your Majesty, I am not a tiger." Okay, so actually, he also made. He was not scared, of course, but he just made fun of his statement, of the statement of the king. He said, "Your Majesty, I am not a tiger." Okay, I am not a tiger. I so I don't know why the tiger population has become extinct. So we have to find out which idiot would call you a tiger. The Maharaja became very angry and then he said, "Which idiot would call you a tiger? No, and I am not a gun." And he said, "I am also not a gun. You are neither tiger nor gun. Okay, you are neither tiger nor gun, Diwan Sahib. I summoned you here for a different purpose. I have decided to get married." Okay, so Maharaja has summoned Diwan Sir for some other reason. In addition to giving the information that the state of Puram had fallen short of tiger, he has summoned Diwan Sahib for another information. What is that information all about? This information is about asking Sahib to look for a bride for the Maharaja. So that is why he said, "I have decided to get married." Right? The Diwan began to babble even more. "Your Majesty, I have two wives already. If I marry you." So Diwan Sahib became extra humorous. Okay, he said, "I have already two wives." Okay, so don't talk nonsense. Why should I marry you? What I want is a tiger. Okay, the purpose of his marriage is not. Purpose of his marriage, of course, is not a serious marriage. Is not that he has desired or he has started, planning to get married just for the sake of it. No, he has a special purpose behind his marriage. Okay, so let's find out what is the special purpose for which Diwan Sahib suddenly wanted to get married. Let's find out. The Diwan began to babble even more. "Your Majesty, I have to. Okay, Your Majesty, please think it over. Your ancestors were married to the shore. If you like, marry the gun. A tiger king is more than enough for this state. It doesn't need a tiger queen as well." So Diwan Sahib became a bit intellectual here, and he said, "Your Majesty, please think it over. Please think it over. Your ancestors were married to the sword, right? Your ancestors were married to the sword. It means that your ancestors all were very much warriors. They belong to the uh, king family. Okay, if you like, marry the gun, right? You need to marry the gun. A tiger king is more than enough for this state. It doesn't need a tiger queen as well. Actually, it is a pun intended for double meaning. What does it mean? Let me tell you. It means that a tiger king is more than a tiger king is better for tiger king to remain unmarried because because his presence has already become intolerable for the people of his state, because he is so whimsical. He is uh, uh, he is uh, uh, he is killing tigers, not mindful of his state affairs, right? So he is not taking care of his subjects or public. So a tiger king is more than enough for the people of the state to tolerate. Okay, now now again, if Tiger Queen comes, then it will be difficult for the people of his kingdom to survive, because then two brains will work, and it will be difficult for the people of the state to survive. Um, you know, that is why, that is what was the intention of the Diwan Sahib, okay, to make such a statement about Tiger King. The Maharaja gave a loud crack of laughter. I am not thinking of marrying either a tiger or a gun, but a girl from the ranks of human beings. First, you may draw up statistics of tiger populations in the different native states. Next, you may investigate if there is a girl I can marry in the royal family of a state with a large tiger population. So now now mm, the Tiger King has spoken about his mind to Diwan Sahib, and saying that, first of all, you make a calculation, drop statistics of tiger populations in different states, and the state having a sizable population of tigers, a state having large population of tigers is the state from where uh, I shall, uh, or from where I shall bring my bride. Okay, I shall bring my bride, so that I am allowed to hunt down tigers from that state. That was the main purpose of his instant desire to get married, right? It was not for the sake of getting married, but for the sake of hunting down tigers. He wanted to get married immediately. That was the main purpose of the Tiger King, actually. Okay, so hopefully you understood the reason as to why uh, the Tiger King or the Maharaja has summoned here Diwan Sahib, right? So that was the main reason, actually. The Maharaja gave a loud crack of laughter. Okay, it is over. The Diwan followed his orders. He found the right girl from a state which possessed a large number of tigers. So Diwan Sahib found out the state which possessed a large number of tigers. Maharaja Jang Bahadur killed 5 or 6 tigers each time he visited his father-in-law. Each time he visited the kingdom, or he visited the place of his father-in-law, he killed 5 or 6 tigers. Right. In this manner, 99 tiger skins adorned the walls of the reception hall in the Pratibandhapuram palace. In this manner, 99 tiger skins were already collected by the Maharaja, and they were kept adorning the walls of the reception hall in Pratibandhapuram palace. Now, the fifth part. The Maharaja's anxiety reached a fever pitch when there remained just one tiger to achieve his tally of 100. That is very interesting, because the astrologer said that you can go on to kill 99 tigers, but when it comes to killing the 100th tiger, that is where the shoe pinches. That is where you shall invite the trouble. That is where you shall, or that is when you shall invite the trouble. So that is why the Maharaja's anxiety now reached a fever pitch. Why has it reached a fever pitch? It has reached a fever pitch because it is his turn to kill the 100th tiger now. And according to the prediction of the astrologer, Maharaja can go on to kill 99 tigers, there was no problem in it. But when it came to killing the 100th tiger, this is when Maharaja needs to take extreme precaution. That is why Maharaja's anxiety reached a fever pitch. He had this one thought during the day and the same dream at night. By this time, the tiger farms had run dry, even in his father-in-law's kingdom. So even in his father-in-law's kingdom, tiger population has fallen short. Now where shall he get a tiger from? Nowhere is the tiger available, not in the state of Pativantapuram, nor in the state of his father-in-law. So where can he manage to get one tiger? Because he is still short of one tiger to complete his quota of killing 100 tigers, right? So where can he manage this tiger from? Let's find out. By this time, the tiger farms had run dry even in his father in law's kingdom. It became impossible to locate tigers anywhere. Yet, only one more was needed. Only one more was needed. If he could kill just that one single beast, the Maharaja would have no fears left. See, that is the question actually. Okay, Maharaja would have no fears left if he was able to kill just one single beast. So, if he could kill just that one single beast, the Maharaja would have no fears left. He could give up tiger hunting altogether. Okay, after he kills the 100th tiger, there would be no fears left in his mind, and then he would automatically, or he would naturally give up his sport of tiger killing altogether, tiger hunting altogether. He would give up. But he had to be extremely careful with that last tiger, right? He had to be extremely careful with that last tiger, as per the prediction given by the astrologer, right? What had the late chief astrologer said? Late because he has died now. The chief astrologer had already died. Even after killing 99 tigers, see this is what the chief astrologer had already predicted. Even after killing 99 tigers, the Maharaja should be aware of the 100th. Maharaja should be aware of the 100th. As you can see here, 100th. Uh, True enough, the tiger was a savage beast after all. One had to be wary of it, means careful of it, careful of it. Tiger is a very savage beast, very brutal, very harmful beast actually. But where was that 100 tiger to be found? Where was that 100 tiger to be found? Because not only his state, his kingdom, but also the kingdom of his father-in-law has gone dry uh, insofar as tiger population is concerned. It seemed easier to find tiger's milk than a live tiger. Right? Live tiger is a very difficult prospect now. It's difficult to trace a live tiger. So let's see from where they get the live tiger. Thus, the Maharaja was sunk in gloom, but soon came the happy news which dispelled that gloom. In his own state, sheep began to disappear frequently from a hillside village. Then, what happened suddenly? Some happy news came which dispelled that gloom. Dispel means remove that gloom. Gloom means sadness. In his own state, sheep began to disappear frequently from a hillside village. In his own state, it means there is a tiger. There is a tiger who is killing the sheep. It was first ascertained that this was not the work of Khader Mian Sahib or Vilasami Nekar, both famed for their ability to swallow sheep whole. Okay, so first it was found out that this is not the work of uh, Khader Milan Sahib or Vilasami Nekar, both of which were famed for their ability to swallow sheep whole. Surely a tiger was at work. The villagers ran to inform the Maharaja. The Maharaja announced a 3-year exemption from all taxes for that village and set out on the hunt at once. The Maharaja announced a 3-year exemption from all taxes from that village uh, and set out on the hunt at once. Right. So he started setting out for the hunt, and the village where the tiger is hiding, in that village, he has decided to exempt the people from giving taxes. Okay, the tiger was not easily found. It seemed as if it had wantonly hid itself in order to flout the Maharaja's will. This is the humor part by the writer. Okay? So the tiger was not easily found. It seemed as if it had wantonly hid itself in order to flout the Maharaja's will. Flout means disobey. So a tiger was not found very easily. It appeared that the tiger hid itself wantonly means intentionally in order to disobey Maharaja's instruction. The Maharaja was equally determined. He refused to leave the forest until the tiger was found. As the days passed, Maharaja's fury and obstinacy mounted alarmingly. Many officers lost their jobs. As the days passed, tiger was uh, not found. Okay, in that village. So the Maharaja became more and more unhappy and more tensed because every single day he's passing his time. Every single day it's a day of increasing uh, it's a day of increasing uh, tension, mounting tension for him. Every day it's a mounting tension for him, right? Therefore he became absolutely angry and dismissed many officers who were working under him. One day, when his rage was at its height, rage means when his anger. One day, when his anger was at his height, what happened that time? See, one day, when his rage was at its height, Maharaja called the Diwan and ordered him to double the land tax forthwith. Right. So, one day, what happened, dear students, when his anger was at its height, because obviously he was passing uh, each day with a lot of tension and anxiety. He had to be extremely precautious also because it was the turn of his hunted tiger. So the tiger might attack him anytime, and there is a life risk which he could not avoid if he had to go by the prediction of the chief astrologer. So he had this underlying fear in his mind. That is why, as there was delay and delay and delay in discovering uh, that tiger in the village, his anger started mounting. And when his anger was at its height, Maharaja called or summoned the Diwan and ordered him to double the land tax forthwith. Instead of exempting the land tax, he said, now double the land tax of that village, right? So, can you imagine, dear students, how much arbitrary were those kings in those days? That is why there was need for democracy. That is why there was need for establishing democracy. Because when the state, or when a particular state was governed by the king, it was absolutely his own wish, his own will as to how he will govern the kingdom, as to how he will govern the state, as to how he will govern his people, as to how he will levy tax on the people of his kingdom. So the so-called kings were very, very arbitrary in nature. Whatever they felt like, they were very impulsive also. So you see the example of impulsiveness on behalf of the Maharaja himself. When the tiger was not discovered, or the tiger, was not identified in that particular village, instead of exempting the taxes as he did declared before, uh, he had ordered to double the land tax. So it means that he was very, very arbitrary in nature, and it was the example of his impulsive activity. So in those days, kings were so much arbitrary in nature. Arbitrary means whatever you feel like you will do without thinking about the benefit of the public or of your subjects, right? So as he was arbitrary, as the king, as he is a metaphor for all the kings in those days, right? There might be one or two exceptional kings who were good enough, but mostly they were arbitrary and impulsive in nature, right? So he immediately ordered Diwan Saab and ordered him to double the land tax forthwith. Forthwith means immediately. The people will become discontented. Discontented means contented means unhappy. The people will become unhappy. Then our state too will fall prey to the Indian National Congress. This is another humor part. Okay? In that case, you may resign from your post. So the one sir was reminding Maharaja that people will become discontented